Hafa day, everybody. Welcome back to the hotspot at the Boka box. We are going back to school. I know a lot of you, or not a lot of you, but a lot of the kids started school this week. And I wanted to talk to you guys about how we can create healthy snacks for our kids and the importance of making sure that your kids eat well at school, but also when you guys get home. So one of the great things that I love about the Department of Education, and I used to work there as well, is that they provide healthy and nutritious breakfasts and lunch for all of the kids. Now, I grew up in an age where I had to pay for lunch or I was on free and reduced price lunch, but I think now all of the kids eat for free, which makes it super, super convenient. And one of the reasons why you should take advantage of the child nutrition program at the schools is because they make meals that look very, very similar to what's here on this plate. Now, they use the diagram from the USDA, which is called the My Plate. And what that does is it provides your kids with a well-rounded approach to nutrition. And we have to remember that with kids, we have to be very realistic about getting our kids to eat. I got 3 kids. I got a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And believe me, some of them are tsatsa, and some of them are really good at eating. But that's a challenge, right? We need to give our kids food, but make it in a way where it's appealing to them and that they eat it. Because nutrition is nothing if the kids are not eating it. So what the Department of Education does that's really great is they provide a well-rounded meal to the kids that consists of a whole grain. That means it's either brown rice or wheat bread or whole wheat bread or tortillas or whatever it is, which provides the kids with a lot of energy and a lot of fiber. They also provide, of course, vegetables and fruits, which are packed with antioxidants, that's packed with vitamins and minerals. They provide protein for the kids at a age-appropriate amount, and which helps the kids with their muscles and recovery and just making sure that they stay very healthy. And also they provide them with a choice of dairy, which is good for calcium for our bones and our hair and just growth in general. Now, it's great that our kids eat this at school, and it's great that you guys pack lunch at school, but if you are going to pack them lunch, a lot of what I've seen before is that the lunches are very convenient and they're very easy. Usually it's maybe spaghetti and juice, or it's some sort of kids drink with hot dog or a sandwich or something like that. Now we have to keep in mind that if we want to provide the best nutrition for our kids, we have to make sure that they're eating their vegetables and they're eating their fruits, because that's one of the things that's lacking in the standard American diet, especially for kids. So make sure no matter what you're packing your kids for lunch, make sure there always has to be some sort of fruit or vegetable. And that's just to get them involved and to get them more inclined to eating healthy as they start growing up. One of the biggest things that we face when the kids are at school is not actually at school. It's after school when they get home or when we pick them up. Because the kids eat around 10 or 11, and by the time they get home at 2 o'clock or 3, they're starving for some reason. And maybe it's because they're growing, but they're hungry. And I know it's super, super convenient to get your kids something like this on this side, but what's convenient and what's easy is not always the healthiest for them. So let's try to make our kids' snacks at home a little bit healthier. And this is why we want to do that. Now, if you take a look at these, they're all very, very processed, right? A lot of them are loaded with increased carbohydrates. A lot of them are loaded with fat, and more importantly, they have lots and lots of salt, which isn't really too good for us. Salt's good, but in amounts that's over the limit, it's not good. So we need to look at ways to decrease the salt that's in our kids' food, but more importantly, we need to look at ways to decrease the sugar that our kids are consuming. Because if you really take a look at it, sugar is kind of like a drug, right? When we eat it or our kids eat it, it sends a signal to our brain that makes us crave it more and more and more. And when kids are at a young age and are being fed foods that are loaded in sugar, they get attached to that and they want to eat that all the time. And then they don't want to eat healthy meals because all they want is processed sugary stuff. A lot of what we give our kids that are very sugary are not the meals itself, but the drinks. And when I was working at DOE in the cafeterias, we saw a lot of this. And I want to give you guys just an example of how much sugar your kids are drinking in just one can of this sugary beverage. This has, according to the nutrition fact label, it has 27 grams of sugar. Now you may be wondering, okay, that's 27 grams, so what does that look like? Now I'm going to show you. 27 grams of sugar looks like this. And I hope you guys can see this, because this is a lot of sugar. When we put it into a plastic bag and we see it for ourselves, I wouldn't even eat that. And this is just one thing that we're eating. This has nothing to do with all the other stuff, right? This is 27 grams that's in a sugary beverage in this can. I want you to guess how much sugar is in this bottle of another sugary beverage. This is 73 grams of sugar. So that's way more than this right here. But I want you guys to be cognizant about the amount of sugar that we give our kids just in these drinks, because throughout the day they're going to be snacking on cookies, on desserts and stuff like that. So that's increased added sugar. And if we want to start getting our kids to eat healthier, we need to start finding ways to decrease that. So simple thing would just be limiting the amount of soda that they drink throughout the week. You know, I mean, my kids, I really don't allow them to drink soda. It's not that I don't allow them, it's I don't encourage it. And by not encouraging it, I just don't have it at home, you know? So if you have these things in your fridge, when the kids get home, they're gonna eat it. So I take it upon myself when I go shopping to not buy it for them, so that they're not inclined to eat it right away when they get home. What I do have are things that I can make meals at home, right? I have things that I can make meals with. So we have lots of fruits and lots of vegetables. We put out bananas, oranges, and apples. We leave that out for the kids so that they have kind of a choice of what fruit to get. I like to make just homemade sandwiches at home. This is a whole wheat, I think it's a turkey and cheese sandwich with carrot sticks. Again, very wholesome. It has wheat bread, and it has sliced deli turkey. It has cheese, which is good for calcium, and it has carrots, which are loaded with vitamins and minerals, which is good for the kids. And this is something that is very, very kid-friendly. Another thing is just looking at the store and doing a little bit more research when you're shopping and not going for the easy, convenient things. We have to be a little bit more careful about the things that we get our kids at the stores and looking for things like this. Now, this is a great snack. Even I like, you know, I'm kind of doing keto right now, so I'm looking for things that are low in carbohydrates and low in sugar. And I found this and I was mind blown. This is your typical Jell-O, right? And it has 10 calories, but more importantly, it has 0 carbohydrates and 0 sugar. And it tastes great. I remember when I was working at the hospital, we used to make this for a lot of the patients, and we used to just throw like grapes or cut up fruit, and we used to put it in the fridge, and we would eat that later as our snacks. And it was super delicious, something that I think the kids would like, you know. But look at ways to look for snacks or other options for your kids that they can snack on that's not very unhealthy. We always have to think about the health of our kids, because if you take a look at it, right, obesity is on the uprise. All these other diseases that we face as adults are being passed down to our kids. And if we know that, you know, like we look at the paper and we see the obituaries and we see a lot of the people that are in there, a lot of the ages that we see are now kind of going down, right? And if that trend continues, right now I see a lot of 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds that are passing away from heart disease and health-related issues. And it's attributed to a lot of the things that we're putting into our bodies. And if we continue that trend with our kids, that age group is just going to keep going down and down and down and down. And we're going to get to a point where our kids are passing away before we do because of health-related issues. And we don't want that. At least I don't want that. I want my kids to grow up to be nice and healthy, and I want them to live way longer than I lived. So I try to take a proactive approach in making sure that their health is taken care of by the things that I buy them, that they have at home to snack on and eat. Here at the Boka Box, we do a great job at trying to encourage people to eat healthy. If you have questions about how to feed your family or how to feed your kids something that's very healthy, come and check me out at the Boka Box, talk to me or some of our other nutrition professionals, and we'll guide you on your way to creating a healthier lifestyle for you and your family. I'm Jess from the Boka Box, and thank you for joining in on the Hotspot.
All right, I told you that was worth hanging around for. Jess, a fantastic job. I told you, again, he's just has worked at UOG, he's worked at the hospital, he's obviously worked at the Guam Department of Education. Now, I know what you're saying, like on social media, I saw the numbers of people watching kind of dip up and down during that segment, but you're thinking, the food doesn't taste good, I don't want to change my diet, but have you ever actually tried it? Ladies and gentlemen, don't knock it till you try it. I mean, I'm proof positive of that. Like, I used to eat like that way. I thought like sugar would get me through the day. I feel so much better right now because I have actually taken Jess's information to heart, and he can do the same thing for you. So give it a shot. Please go check him out at the Boka Box. He is someone who really, really cares about the community. He's unbelievably compassionate, and he is going to get you and your family and your little ones really, really healthy. I guarantee that.